Ladies and gentlemen, a special video today sponsored by Hello Games. Check the description below for supporting links. In today's video, a fond look of the past 5 years to celebrate the 5-year anniversary of No Man's Sky. The story so far that has led us to this point. Keep it locked here to the LZ. Fellow travelers, you have made it to the LZ, and thank you so much for joining me today. In celebration along with Hello Games for No Man's Sky's 5th year anniversary, in today's video I want to take a fond look at the past 5 years. An excellent celebration for all of us in the community who have been here since day one, and a warm welcome to those who are just joining with the new launch of the Frontiers update that just launched early September. What an absolute ride the past 8 years have been. Yes, you heard me correctly. It has been 8 years since the reveal of No Man's Sky on that fateful night of that uncomfortable episode of the Video Game Awards. No Man's Sky undoubtedly the diamond in the rough from that night. A video game reveal that sparked all kinds of discourse, controversy, and arguably one of the largest and most significant comebacks in video gaming history. No Man's Sky was pitched as an infinite procedurally generated galaxy or galaxies featuring quintillions. I didn't even know that was a word before then. Quintillions of planets, like literal full-size, entire effing planets, to just set foot on, explore, go about your business, enjoy the sights. But that initial reveal left us all in wonder, super questioning what it was that No Man's Sky's potential was. Little did we think at the release of No Man's Sky that we would actually still be talking about this game today, 5 years later. From the night of the reveal, much of the conversation around No Man's Sky really centered about what is it that we do in this game. I remember that was the question that everyone asked, including yours truly. It was a game that it just put together so much buzz and conversation, and people just wanted to know what it was. It was so compelling, in fact, that it's what was inspiring me to start my own channel, and I've been covering this game ever since. Those years between 2013 and 2016, the launch year of No Man's Sky, were filled with several trailers, several trade show arrivals, a small documentary, a Guildford flood that basically destroyed the studio, a controversial delay that saw the game being pushed back by a month and some change, all leading us to launch and beyond. What particularly had me fascinated was the type of studio this was. A small group of just a handful of individuals working in an office that is smaller than my actual kitchen, and my kitchen's not really that big, who were at that moment really only known for a small title named Joe Danger. It's a studio that I was inspired by because they talked wondrous things and they had such ambitions, and they were developing a AAA level project that faced an uphill developmental battle and all kinds of adversity. It's pure conjecture, obviously, but I bet back then, if you were to ask Hello Games if they thought that they would be here now, 5 years later, still supporting No Man's Sky with extra content, releasing other titles like The Last Campfire, and apparently working on some large unknown title that Sean's pretty ambitious about, Hello Games is clearly firing on all cylinders, and still No Man's Sky is as well. Since launch, this team has given us a slew of new content over the years. Every single update giving us a gigantic suite of new features and post-support with bug fixes and community injection of feedback on how to improve the features that those updates included. Undoubtedly, one of the major points of conversation surrounding No Man's Sky was its controversial launch. For those who may not be in the know, since that fateful launch, the team at Hello Games, who are just shy of a couple of dozen developers still, over the past 5 years have released 17 updates, all of which were entirely free, no charge, no microtransactions, with the games as a service industry scratching their heads trying to figure out how to capture that lightning in that bottle. Regardless of what the actual conversation was 5 years ago about No Man's Sky, it's hard to deny that today the discourse has definitely shifted. This is directly evidenced by the mostly positive review rating on Steam that No Man's Sky just accomplished. 5 years ago, we were all wondering what No Man's Sky was all about, but today it is very clear, 17 free updates later, the game has become much, much more than just walking around smelling the roses. In the game's first year alone, 3 gigantic title updates named Foundation, Pathfinder, and the large Atlas Rises update, adding base building, vehicles, a bare bones exploration multiplayer feature, tons of quality of life improvements, and that was just the first year, all surrounded by a gigantic ARG that Hello Games put together themselves, along with ARG developer Allison Smith. The ARG was used in the first and the second year to help bring the community together around these new larger updates that would see No Man's Sky drift well beyond what the original premise was meant to be. Leading into the second year of development, 3 more giant updates: the Abyss update, which expanded oceans, the Visions update, which added new and mysterious different types of planets, and the gigantic Next update, adding a complete galactic refresh, multiplayer, player models, a third-person camera. The hype surrounding the Next update alone was gigantic, not to mention this is when it actually launched on the Xbox game platform. Year 3 saw one of No Man's Sky's biggest years to date, launching not 1, not 3, but 5 massive updates for the game. The No Man's Sky Beyond update brought a full feature set of virtual reality for PlayStation and PC. Living Ship brought sort of weird space happenings and an actual organic ship. Exomech brought, well, you guessed it, a giant mech a la Matrix. And still yours truly's favorite update, the Desolation update, which brought derelict freighters in space that you can land on that were basically space dungeons. Following that massive suite of updates came the gigantic Origins update, which completely overhauled planets, a gigantic ton of assets and variation that the community had been begging for, a cloud overhaul and storms that are just to die for, a next-gen update with super excellent performance, crisp image quality, way more junk that you can fit on the screen, the Companions update, which gives you pets, yet again another feature that was requested by the community, and of course Prisms, which brought a lot of new quality of life and graphical improvements, along with Expeditions, which to date is one of the most engaging updates the game has ever gotten, which introduced things like the Normandy from the Mass Effect franchise. I mean, who thought of that 5 years ago was ever going to be in this game? And of course, just days ago, since the time of the recording of this video, the Frontiers update launched with a gigantic new suite of assets for base building, improved base building, and of course, the marquee feature, planetary settlements. Yet again, another thing that the community has been asking. Each one of these 17 large updates is something for everyone to enjoy in this game. Your mileage may vary, but definitely with all of the extra stuff that's been added into this game, it is definitely worth checking out. And of course, on top of reaching the mostly positive ranking on Steam, landing on Xbox Game Pass, getting like 18 sales per year on every platform that there is, with exception of the Nintendo Switch, their Hello Games were, my Switch would really, of course, with 5 years behind us, all of these updates with much more to come, the conversation massively changing over the years about No Man's Sky, giving your boy Legacy a lot to talk about and a lot of motivation to create content here on YouTube, alongside all of my content creator buddies who love to bring you the No Man's Sky news, speculation, and guesswork when it comes to whatever it is the future is for No Man's Sky. What has been made absolutely clear is that Hello Games is a wonderful studio that has made a wonderful game that has reached its 5-year waypoint, and I am so happy to see it. Congrats to Hello Games for making and maintaining something special. Congrats to the community for holding it up and being an absolute blast this entire time. And to you for clicking this video and hearing me out. Of course, thanks again to Hello Games for the partnership. Check the description below for supporting links and more information. And again, thank you so much for hanging out in the LZ, and I'll see you in the next one.